Hello everyone. In today's Cretaceous profile, we're going to be doing is a second Cenomanian Spinosaur, and that is Oxalaia. Is a genus of Spinosaurid dinosaur that lived what is now northeast region of Brazil during the Cenomanian stage of the late Cretaceous period, sometime between 100.5 and 93.9 million years ago, meaning Oxalaia has never met Tyrannosaurids, Megaraptorans, and Albilesaurids. Its only known fossils were found in 1999 on Kahuro Island in the rocks of the Alcantara Formation, which is known for its abundance of fragmentary, isolated fossil specimens. The remains of Oxalaia were described in 2011 by Brazilian paleontologist Alexander and colleagues, who assigned the specimen to a new genus containing one species, Oxalaia cubanensis. The species name referred to the Brazilian cambudo sediments, and Oxalaia is the 8th officially named dinosaur species from Brazil and the largest carnivorous dinosaur discovered there. It is closely related to the African genus Spinosaurus and or may be a junior synonym of this taxon, but we don't know for sure because all we have left was a upper snout of it and possibly another snout. Oxalaia stems from the Alcantara Formation, a succession of sedimentary rocks that is part of the Itapagaru group of the Siluas Garajo Basin in northeastern Brazil. These rocks have been dated by scientists to the Cenomanian stage of the late Cretaceous period, 100.5 to 93.9 million years ago, outcropping at the northern coast of the formation. The Laja do Corujá locality is made up of mostly of sandstones and mudstones, along with conglomerate rock layers containing fossil plant and vertebrate fragments. These sediments were deposited under marine and fluvial conditions similar to those of the Bahariya Formation in Egypt, where Spinosaurus remains have been found. In 1999, fossils of Oxalaia were recovered from the Laja do Corujá. Paleontologist Elaine Machado of the National Museum of Rio de Janeiro was surprised to find such a well-preserved fossil at the site, and stated in the press release that this is how most scientific discoveries happen. It was by accident. The finding of rare occurrence due to the erosive nature of the tides at the deposit, which are responsible for the fragmented state of the most fossils in the bone bed. Remains not found on a site are often removed from the formation by wave action. Generally, the majority of fossil remains found at the Alcantara Formation consists of teeth and isolated skeletal elements, of which the La Curia site has yielded hundreds. And the holotype premaxillae altogether approximately 201 millimeters, 7.9 inches long, with a preserved width of 115 millimeters, 4.5 inches. Maximal estimate original width is 126 millimeters, 5 inches, and a height of 103 millimeters, 4.1 inches, based on skeletal material from related spinosaurids. The skull of Oxalaia would have been an estimated 1.35 meters, 4.4 feet long. This is smaller than Spinosaurus's skull, which was approximated at 1.75 meters, 5 feet 9 inches long. Italian paleontologist Cristiano and colleagues in 2005, Kellner and his team compared the Dalsasio specimen MSNM V4047 to Oxalaia's original snout in 2011. From this, they estimated Oxalaia at 12 to 14 meters, 39 to 46 feet in length, and 5 to 7 tons. In weight, making it the largest known theropod from Brazil, the second largest being Pinacosaurus, which was estimated at 8.9 meters, 29 feet, by one study. Now its classification. The type elements of Oxalaia closely resembles those of specimens MSNM V4047 and MNHN SAM 124, both refer to Spinosaurus aegypticus. Keller and colleagues differentiated Oxalaia from it and other spinosaurids by its entomorphic distinguishing craniodental features like its sculptured palatal part of the premaxillae and the possession of 2 replacement teeth, in which position more fragmentary spinosaurids such as Simosaurus and Cynopliosaurus are based on only teeth, making them difficult to separate from other taxa. The habit of naming theropods from isolated teeth or more tooth fragments has resulted in many invalid and synonymous genera. It has also occurred with spinosaurids and is compounded by the common lack of overlapping skeletal remains, a precondition of validly distinguishing taxa. In a 2020, a paper by Robert and colleagues assessing spinosaurians from the Chemchem group did not found the anatomic morphs of Oxalaia significant enough to warrant a separate taxon, but instead considering them a result of individual variation. The authors thus consider the species a junior synonym, Spinosaurus egypticus. If supposed by future studies, this would imply Spinosaurus egypticus had a wider distribution and support a faunal exchange scenario between South America and Africa during the Sandemanian, when there was little separation of South America and Africa by water, which allowed Spinosaurus to traverse the short distance of the sea into South America. So, if it should not be called Oxalaia, should it be called Spinosaurus quibolensis? Why wasn't it called that? Well, like I said before, it's a fragmentary remain, and the original fossil of Oxalaia was destroyed in a fire at a museum. So, it's gone. Not unless if they do an expedition to find more Oxalaia remains. But I doubt that's going to happen because it is rare to find Spinosaurid fossils. If it's paleoecology, the late Cretaceous deposits of the Alacatura Formation have been interpreted as a humid habitat of tropical forests dominated by conifers, ferns, and horsetails. These forests were surrounded by an arid to semi-arid landscape that was probably subjugated to brief periods of heavy rainfall, followed by dry periods, a great abundance and variety of animal taxa, such as dinosaurs, pterosaurs, snakes, mollusks, crocodilians, notosuchids, and fish have been discovered in the formation. Aquatic taxa known from the deposits including large coelacanth, Mawsonia gigas, the ray Melobitis, and an uncertain species of two soft fishes, as well as bony fish, ray-finned fish, and lungfish. Dinosaur fossil remains suggest the presence of diplodocids, basal titanosaurs, and a large Carcharodontosaurid which have yet to be described and even be named. A Noasaurid, also unnamed and undescribed, closely related to Mexicosaurus and dromaeosaurid, also undescribed and have not been named. Also characteristics, teeth, and the vertebral centra were referred to Spinosaurus sp. Most of the flora and fauna discovered in the Alcantara Formation was also present in North Africa in the Kem beds of Morocco during the Cenomanian, with a few exceptions including Oxalaia, Electocopristis, Iguanodontus, and Cororangsuchus. According to Medeiros and colleagues, the Lagidocorna assembly may also be linked to Composition Beria Formation in Egypt, which holds a distant combination of key taxa constituting Spinosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, and Onchopristis. These extreme similarities between the Cretaceous biota of Brazil with that of Africa as a result of their connection as parts of the supercontinent Gondwana, which comprise of most land masses of the modern southern hemisphere. This connection was broken by rifting and seafloor spreading 130 to 110 million years ago. Afterwards, the transoceanic assemblies would have continued to evolve separately, contributing the small differences between taxa. Machado stated that Kahuro Island was still attached to the African continent during the Cenomanian. Similarly, Medeiros and colleagues noted that the presence of an island chain or other lasting land connection during the time could explain the faunal similarities. As a spinosaur, Oxalaia would have had large, robust forelimbs, relatively short hind limbs, elongated narrow spines, upwards protrusion of the vertebrae, forming a ridge or sail on its back, and tall neural spines on the caudal vertebrae, which, similar to the tails of modern crocodilians, may have aided in swimming. Spinosaurids likely spent most of their time near or in water and fed mostly on aquatic animals, avoiding direct competition with other large predators, but being able to sustain themselves on terrestrial animals if necessary. Such behavior is absurd in cases such as juvenile iguanodont found in the stomach of cavity of baryonyx fossils, and an irritator tooth embedded in the pterosaur remains. The conical transversely overall shaped teeth of Oxalaia and its nasal openings that retracted further back on the skull than in most theropods, likely avoid water entering its nostrils while fishing, are characteristic of Spinosaurids. Both features are useful adaptations for catching and feeding on fish. The expanding, interlocking front jaws and piercing teeth of Spinosaurs worked as an efficient fish trap and trait also exhibited by the Indian gharial, the most piscivorous extant crocodilian. Keller compared the general appearance of spinosaurid skulls to those of alligators. And that's it for Oxalaia. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and see you later, guys.